If you remember, um, ManahShiksha is very deep in itself, but the instructions are supremely important. And one who can follow these 11 instructions can attain the direct worship in Gunaka Vrindavan. It's ManahShiksha is not a beginner's book, it's an advanced book, very advanced. And we saw that in the last discussion, verse 1, the very first verse discuss about developing excessive, unprecedented attachment to Guru, Ghostya Nishu, um, um, Sujana, like Guru, the spiritual masters, Vrindavan, the residents of Vrindavan, Brahmanas, Vadasuragani, Bhusuragani, all the Vaishnavas, um, mm, Swanamni, Swamantra, the Gayatri Mantra given by spiritual master, and names, the holy names given by the spiritual master, and the divine couple. Uh, what stops us is right, which stops us from, which makes us feel, why do I need to do? I am something. So I don't need to take shelter or develop excessive attachment. So when that is given up and one becomes under condition and plays and develop excessive attachment, that's the recommendation. Oh my dear mind, please give up and become attached, excessive attachment to these 8 items. And this verse is after that. So we can see uh, now how to see the spiritual master is not mentioned. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also not mentioned. And so these two things are covered in the second verse. And the main theme of the second verse is one pointed worship. One pointed worship. Let us begin. This is a summary from previous previous to uh, previous verse. Okay, we start reciting. There are only 11 slides, but the concept is relatively quite enlightening. Okay,
Verse 1 reason give up pride. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes a dangerous moment in the life of a devotee.
we can start reading. Oh, my sound was actually muted. Did you read? Somebody read it?
Here, Prabhu, I started.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I just noticed that someone. Did anybody said anything? I could not hear anything. So if nobody said, then we are good. Nobody said. All right. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes a dangerous moment in the life of a devotee when the thought comes, I am a Vaishnava. I have done, I have done vratas, I have finished my extra rounds, or I have given a very well acclaimed lecture. If so, then we don't turn to Krishna. We run in the opposite direction. We run for respect, honor, and prestige. How will love ever come in such a heart? It is not possible. This is a commentary by Sachinandan Swami. That's why I put his picture here. So just in a couple of paragraphs he's mentioned. Then what do we do with the pride? When pride comes because of anything, we can become proud of anything. Um, we can become proud of material things. We can become proud of spiritual things. Material things can be. We can become proud of our beauty. We can become proud of our wealth. We can become proud of our education, and we can become proud of our birth. Kunti Maharani says that. And she says because they become proud, um, they who cannot take shelter of Krishna. That is pride because of material things. One can become proud of one's spiritual things. I chant in the morning. I speak very nicely. I read so much. I chant so many rounds. Um, Wherever this I comes into picture, um, when one thinks high of oneself, then one becomes proud. And when one becomes proud, then he cannot give respect to Guru, Goshta, Goshtali, so he cannot give respect. He cannot develop excessive attachment to them because of his pride um, um, hinders us to develop excessive attachment because we become so full of oneself, so we cannot do that. So here is an advice by Bhakti Thakur and Satyendra Maharaj. We saw this advice last time is take shelter of Guru and expansion on that. Okay, someone can read.
What do we do when respect comes our way? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that when we are glorified, we should immediately offer the glorification to our spiritual master and the previous Acharya. A servant of a spiritual master should never accept it for themselves but offer it to the previous spiritual master. For example, if someone says, "You gave a nice lecture," you should respond, "I just repeated some points that I learned from my spiritual master and the Vaishnavas. I cannot really accept your praise."
So that's how we honestly gauge, especially anything material, to gauge because of my karma I have. Anything material, education, birth, beauty, or wealth, because of my karma I have. Anything spiritual, then we give um, respect to where it is due. Like recently, I gave a talk on determination. One devotee said, I really like this discussion. And I said, well, I have taken as it is from the book written by um, SyKrPr. Um, the name of the book is Our Family Business. We speak about strong sadhana and determination comes for strong sadhana. And I took all the points from that book. So then we understand that what is my qualification is just reading it and repeating it. So I really don't have any qualification, but whatever I'm speaking is basically what I have read. So one should give the glories to where it is due. Like when we are reading all the discussion, we quote Sajanand Maharaj says that Bhaktivedanta Maharaj says this, and other scripture masters say Vishnu Prabhupada says Bhaktivinoda Thakur says this, Saraswati Thakur says this. So it is their realization, it is their property. So we should give back the glory to where it is due. Well, any other thing, um, um, I can't even chant Mahamantra unless I receive it from Vaishnavas. So it's borrowed, it's taken. Only thing that I own is a free will, and if Krishna does not permit that free will, then if Krishna's Maya Shakti becomes powerful, I can give it up today. I don't even have to wait till tomorrow. That much powerful is the Maya Shakti of the Lord. So, what is my contribution? Everyone should think, well, I give respect to where it is due, to where it is coming from. And when we see everything as instrument of spiritual master, then all the respect and everything goes to spiritual master. And when we do that, then we stay in our natural position of who we are, a servant of spiritual master. And whatever service is given by the master of spiritual master. But very difficult because um, there is a tendency to take respect for oneself and then one becomes full of oneself. One thinks that I am great. And the moment one thinks I am great, the Krishna does it. Krishna humbles the Krishna. Krishna humbles him. And that's how Krishna constantly trains a Vaishnava that in a right mood. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always said, how can we always chant the holy name when I cannot do solution? By maintaining a mood of humility. And this one has to cultivate over and over and over and over and over. And one keeps on making mistakes for many, many years, and one has to keep overcoming it, act accord, and yeah, that's why it's called ManahShiksha. Training the mind, training the mind, training the mind. It's a very advanced platform to come to this point. Like if you see Srila Prabhupada, none of the spiritual master except Guru Puja, but Srila Prabhupada would accept it. And he would sit on Vyasasana, and people would bring flowers and offer at feet of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is also Prabhupada is also doing kirtan, and he's sitting on Vyasasana. And he would be jumping up and down, Prabhupada is sitting on Vyasasana. Now, how difficult it is to take if we have pride in our heart. How difficult it is to take when hundreds of devotees, wherever you go, are coming and offering flower at your feet. What an advanced state of consciousness that is. Krishna Prabhupada is Mahabhagavad person. So nothing touches him. He's completely um, pure. He knows who he is. I mean, that state of consciousness is very high. Sometimes we say, well, I want to render so many services. I want to serve the Lord in this way and that way, and I want to realize myself, and I want to develop place in holy name, and I want. But sir, before you want, there is a qualification you need to have. That qualification is Dambahitya, Bimbahitya. Unless you get that qualification, your want will remain your want only. It will not turn into reality. But if you really want what you want, if you want to turn your want into reality, then this one quality you have to give up, which is false pride. Okay, and that's the beginning of ManahShiksha. That's verse 1. Yes, give up pride. Now we come to the second verse.
Prabhuji, I don't know if it is for me or everyone else is facing. The voice is like breaking, or maybe when you are moving away, it is low.
I'm almost at same distance, almost. Um, what should I do? Is it not clear?
No, I think when you are like maybe when you are moving the head, maybe it's breaking.
But is the clarity okay?
Yeah, now it is okay.
Okay, I'll try to speak like a robot. Okay,
I don't know
okay.
if others are facing or only.
Is my voice breaking for everyone?
Guruji, we are able to hear
It
Prabhu.
is, yeah, we are able to hear, but little bit lower side, lower volume.
Well, I'll try to speak a little louder. Okay, now, sorry, in this presentation, I forgot to change verse 1 to verse 2. And this is the verse 2. Na dharmam shrutigana niruktam kidakuru Braje Radha Krishna Prachura Paricharyam Ihatanu Sachi Sunom Nandishwara Patisutagni Guruvaram Mukunda Prishthatve Smara Param Ajashram Nanumadhu. Okay, so there are 4 points to take home from this verse 2. We'll start with Nanu. Nanu Manha, the last 2 words. Always it starts with the last words. Nanu Manha. Indeed, oh my dear mind. So there is a reference. Indeed, my dear mind. Now coming to first line, last 2 word. Kila Karu. Kila is certainly. Kuru means do this. Certainly do this. So, oh my dear mind, certainly do this. Now, what to do? First line speaks about what not to do. Second line speaks about what to do. Third and fourth line speaks about, we'll come to that, otherwise it will become confusing. Na dharmam. Na dharmam means don't be attached to dharma. Na adharma. Na dharma means don't perform adharma. Don't perform adharma and don't even be attached to dharma. Na dharmam, na adharmam. When there is a and on the top there is a line, so it's two words, na and adharmam. So na dharmam, na adharmam. Shruti guna niruktam. Shruti gana niruktam means Shruti. Shruti is Vedic scriptures which are spoken by Vyasadeva. Shruti, which are not necessarily Vyasadeva, which are coming from the Supreme Lord. Vedas have two sections. One is called Shruti, one is called Smriti. Shruti is direct building of the Supreme Lord. Smriti is expansion of Shruti by pure devotees of the Lord. So Vedas and Upanishads are Shruti and Puranas are Smriti and many like Srila Prabhupada books also comes under Smriti. I mean the direct Bhagavad Gita, although Mahabharata is a Smriti because it's meditated upon and written by Vedvyas, Bhagavad Gita, although part of Mahabharata, is Shruti because it's spoken by the Supreme Lord. So there is Shruti or Shruti Gana Niruktam or other supporting literatures. Shruti Gana Niruktam means whether in Shruti or any other supporting literature, which includes Smriti or any expansion of Smriti and Shruti and Smriti, any Vedic literature, whatever they define as dharma, don't be attached. Now this is very, we will spend at least 20-25 minutes just on this word, na dharma. Don't be attached to dharma. Na dharma, na adharma. Of course, we don't follow adharma. We don't do adharma. That is clear. But na dharmam also. Don't be attached to dharma also. Whether it is mentioned in Shruti, Smriti, Puranas, or anywhere. Don't be attached to such principles. Certainly don't do this. Then what do I do? Vraje Radha Krishna Prachura Paricharyam Ihatanu. Now, Iha means here, here, in Vraja, here. In Vrindavan, here, this is Raghunath Das Goswami that, oh my dear mind, here in Vrindavan, you should do one thing, and that is the main theme of this verse, which is one pointed worship. And what is that? Here, Tanu means expand. Ihatanu, here in Vraja, you expand on or you increase your Radha Krishna Prachura Paricharyam. Paricharyam is seva, and Prachura is profuse seva or lot of seva. Oh my dear mind, don't be attached to dharma adharma whether they are mentioned in Shruti Smriti or any other supporting literature, but rather here in Vrindavan with one pointed intelligence worship Radha and Krishna profusely, profusely render service to Shri Radha and Krishna. Do just this one. Then, if I should worship profusely Radha and Krishna, then shouldn't I worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? No, you must definitely worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How? If I should worship profusely one pointed Radha and Krishna, how do I worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Well, my dear mind, Sachi Sunam, Nandishwara Pati Sutave. Sachi Sunam, the son of Sachi, Sutatve is same as Nandishwar Pati, or son of Nanda Maharaj. Well, worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as non-different from son of Sachi as non-different from son of Nanda Baba. So if you worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nanda Baba non-different or Radha and Krishna combined form non-different, then when you are worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then you are simultaneously with one pointed intelligence you are worshipping Radha and Krishna. There is no difference. Alright, another doubt. Shouldn't I worship Guru? Shouldn't I worship my spiritual masters? Yes, you should do that. How do I do that? If it is one pointed Radha and Krishna. Guruvaram, but Shri Guru Mukunda Presthatma. Mukunda Presthatma means very dear, dear, dear. So Mukunda Presthatma, you should consider a spiritual master as very dear to Mukunda. Smara. In this way, meditate. Param. Um, Param means topmost. Um, he is not only dear, but he is the most dear. So one should consider one spiritual master as most dear to Mukunda or Krishna. Um, Ajasram Nanumanaha. Ajasram is unceasingly, always, always remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as not different from Krishna. Sri Guru as most dear servant of Krishna. Profusely serve Radha and Krishna in Vraja. And that's all you should do. Don't be attached to what is dharma and what is adharma, as mentioned in various Shruti and other supporting literature. So, my dear mind, do these four things. And we will expand and go deeper, but here are four things. Don't be attached to dharma and adharma. With one pointed intelligence, only worship Radha and Krishna in Vraja and profusely serve them, expand your services to them. Worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as not different from Radha and Krishna, and worship Sri Guru as dear most servant of uh, Mukunda or Krishna, dear most servant, and meditate upon them in this way. Okay, someone can read the translation now.
Indeed, do not perform any pious acts prescribed in the Vedas in supporting literature, or sinful acts forbidden in them. Staying here in Raja, please perform profuse service, profuse service to Sri Sri Radha Krishna. O mind, unceasingly remember the son of Sachi as the son of Nanda Maharaja and Sri Guru as the dearest servant of Lord Mukunda.
So these are the four points. Don't. These are the four points. Now, is my voice clear? Are you able to understand what I am speaking?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Lord.
So do not perform any pious, impious. I mean, we don't perform impious, but yes, do not perform any pious also. Any pious or impious activity mentioned in scriptures. Stay here in Braja, mentally or physically, as we saw in Act of Devotion. You can stay mentally or physically. Please perform profuse service to Shishi Radha and Krishna. Expand upon that. Unceasingly always remember the son of Sachiya, son of Nanda Maharaj, and Sri Guru as dearmost servant of Lord Mukunda. If you see Mahaprabhu and spiritual master in this way, then the goal is clear. There is one pointed worship recommended, which is Radha and Krishna. Which is Radha and Krishna. Okay. One pointed in our goal. This is why Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj. Someone can read.
I'll read it. This second verse of ManahShiksha contains a very important element, the principle of a single goal. In the early verses of ManahShiksha, Raghunath Dasa Goswami speaks of the various obstacles that arise on the sadhaka's way. One obstacle is that our mind are many branched. We are accustomed to setting many goals and pursuing them, but by doing so, we can never reach Krishna, because as the saying goes, if you chase two rabbits, both will escape. Unfortunately, we are practiced at trying to accomplish many things at a time.
This is our conditioning. Bhaktivedanta Maharaj said there is a quote which says, if you try to chase two rabbits, both will escape. Whether you try to run after one rabbit and try to chase it, good chance you can get that rabbit. Otherwise, you cannot. So that's why the first principle and the most important principle of this verse is one pointed in our goal. One pointed. Radha and Krishna. And Raghunath Das Goswami says there are various obstacles that comes in the path of sadhaka. The first obstacle that Raghunath Das Goswami is pride, Dumba. And second obstacle that Raghunath Das Goswami is telling that comes in a path of sadhaka is many forms of worship, many many resemblance of dharma, and many forms of worship. And one is not able to have a dedicated one pointed goal of worshiping Radha Krishna. So that he mentions here as the second obstacle. The first is pride, second is this. So one obstacle is that our mind are many branched because how we are born and brought up, raised, what all people we have met, and what all books we have read. So there are many branches in our mind. That's one obstacle. Is that our mind are many branched. We are accustomed to setting many goals and pursuing them. Well, let me do this and then 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 this. So these are many goals that we have accustomed ourselves to. This is important because of this, this is also this, and there are so many things that are important. But by doing so, we can never reach Krishna because we have so many desires. And Krishna says your next birth is according to your desire. And when we have many branches, naturally with one pointed intelligence, one cannot remember Krishna at the time of death. And one will be given a position where one can perform all of one's desires, which definitely is not Golu Vrindavan. In 8th chapter, 5th verse, we saw Krishna is telling, if at the time of that you can remember me alone. The word alone is very important. The word alone. Because we can, the whole life will be a flashback and we remember so many things and we may have many attractions at that point of time, many desires. And the what we get is because Krishna is one of them, we become a devotee. But then we get other things that are in our desires. So the mind is many branched. So Krishna, I mean Raghunath Das Goswami says pointing out one pointed in our goal. If we are not one pointed in our practice today, there is no scope that we can be one pointed in our remembrance of Krishna at the time of death. We will remember everything that we are worshipping or every part of dharma that we are following. The combined effect will decide our next birth. So Raghunath Das Goswami says if it is not one pointed, we can never reach Krishna. Because if you chase two rabbits, one both will escape. You get neither of them. You get something mixed in the path of worship. So again, unfortunately, we are practiced in us in this way, trying to accomplish many things at a time, but the goal remains the same. The whole, if you take one point home from this entire discussion on June 30th is please render one pointed service to Radha and Krishna and everything else that are connected to Radha and Krishna. But the goal is clear. Now we will spend some decent amount of time on the principle Na Dharmam. Na Dharmam is very difficult to understand. Very difficult to understand. But let us get into it. I will read these 2 3 slides because there are a lot of points mentioned in each line we mentioned. Now, na adharmam is to avoid 4 sinful activities. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication. Recently, I was talking to one devotee and he said he lost a job and he said, now I need to make my income and I am investing in stocks. I said, okay, are you getting some funds from there? He said, yes, I'm getting some income. But I don't know if I should do or I should not do. Then I said, well, if you ask me, don't do. Even if you're getting some funds, don't do. If you can somehow maintain yourself, if you have enough money to maintain yourself, stop doing it. If you have no other option, what can be done? What can be done? But stock is considered gambling. Then I told him, you will continuously be thinking, what is the price? Even in chanting, you'll be thinking, should I invest in this company, this company, this company? Has the price increased, reduced, whole night? It's a very high absorption for mind, actually, for mind. But when you are doing a simple job, it's much more conducive for devotional service because you do little bit, maybe with interest, maybe without interest, as long as you keep the job on and you focus on Krishna consciousness. But any job which has very high engagement, difficult. So gambling is difficult because there is always you can get it or you may not get it. And in the process of you want to gain something, you keep on working very hard and you keep on making ways how to do it, how to do it, how to do it. It's a very dangerous thing to do. So, na dharma. Don't be attached to four central activities. So we'll not discuss much on this because this is clear, na adharma. Now we'll discuss upon na dharmam. How to understand na dharma. First question is, what is dharma? Well, dharma is everything. Everything you do. Taking care of family, job, serving the neighbors, helping somebody else, um, taking care of parents, um, you think of, it's dharma. Dharma is, our life is made of dharma. Our life is made of dharma. So when Raghunath Das Goswami says, na dharmam, what do we do? Well, let us see. Dharma makes us render selfless service to society, taking care of relatives, parents, making an honest earning, etc. Na dharma means don't be attached to these things. Wow. Now, Sachindan Maharaj says, well, I told you in introduction that some of these principles mentioned by Raghunath Das Goswami will create a wound in your heart because of our excessive attachment to certain things. But what is required is humility and try to understand why Raghunath Das Goswami is telling this thing, na dharma. Now, let us first consider some examples. Can anyone give an example of somebody who rejected dharma for the sake of Krishna? Can someone think of? No one can think of any examples.
Can you repeat the question?
Can you think of some example of somebody who rejected dharma for the sake of Krishna?
Prabhuji, Bali Maharaj, Bali Maharaj,
Bali Maharaj.
yes. Like his guru told him not to, like he is a Vishnu himself, you should not listen to him and give the dan.
Well, he still performed the dharma of giving charity. Guru was against dharma.
Yeah, but he neglected his guru's order and he, for
Alright.
Krishna's sake, he given the charity.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Prabhuji, I have a question there, Prabhuji, from last 1 month about that example, Prabhuji, like
Bali
following,
Maharaj.
not following Guru or giving charity to Vaman Dev. Like, which one is,
Well,
I mean, like, is it rejecting the order of Guru, Prabhuji?
no. Guru always speaks about surrender to Krishna. If Guru says do not surrender to Krishna, then he is no more a Guru. Guru by default means to take us closer to Krishna. So the moment he said do not give charity, he lost his position as a Guru. So we don't say really he did anything wrong. Is that all right?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Can you think of more examples of somebody who rejected dharma?
Gopis.
Gopi. They
Uh,
were
One more is I don't remember the name of that acharya, but he was used to maintain his family, just begging, like accepting madhukari. So from Chaitanya Leela, I don't remember the name, but one of the acharyas.
he used to do take care of families and then
Means he was not used to earn money, but still he was used to able to maintain his family.
yes, that will come in next slide.
So I don't remember the name actually. I'm
Shivas
bad.
Thakur.
Shivasta. Yeah.
Thank you, Madhavi. So very good example is gopis. They were breastfeeding their kids. Some were taking care of their husbands. Some were taking care of their in-laws. Some were cooking. Some were taking care of cows, like milking the cows. They all had so many responsibilities according to dharma. When Krishna went to Vamsivat and pleaded his plea, they rejected it. They did not care about dharma. All they cared about is pleasure of Krishna, pleasure of Krishna. But that's a very advanced platform. Let us see. We will see how to attain this thing in stages. That's why we said we will discuss 20-25 minutes on this. Another example is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He His father passed away. His mother was alone. His wife was alone, and they had no kids. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, the only people remaining were his wife and his mother, two ladies, and no men, no men. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just left. He took sannyas. So um, let us see. And then Krishna himself says, what does Krishna say? Sarva dharma parityaja, mamekam sharanam vraja. This is the same thing. Sarva dharma parityaja. That one line Raghunath Das Goswami is mentioning in two words, na dharma, na adharma. Don't be attached to your dharma, your so-called responsibilities. It will seem the whole world will condemn you. If you give up your dharma, the whole world will condemn you. But Krishna tells Uddhav, actually because of lack of time, I could not do a very nice job with the presentation. I wanted to put some more verses. But Krishna tells Uddhav in Uddhav Gita, anybody who gives up all their religious duties according to Varna ashram and everything else and surrenders onto me becomes very dear to me. And Krishna glorified the love of gopis. Na parai ham, Krishna said, well, I cannot repay your love for me. Na parai nivedya. So, first Krishna told the gopis, dead of a night, young girls coming out in a forest when there are so many aghoras, animals. Your husbands are waiting, you have young kids, children, you have to take care of all of them. Your mother-in-law, you are ashamed to your society, return immediately. And Gopi told Krishna, how cruel are you? We gave up everything for you, and you're rejecting us? How cruel! And then lot of discussion happened in those chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. But then later on, Krishna admitted and he said, "Na parayam. Actually, I am indebted to your love. I cannot, I cannot repay. Although I say in Bhagavad Gita, ye yathamam prapattam snaheva bhajami ham. I reciprocate according to devotee's love, but your love is too high that I cannot repay. So, so let your glories of your love be your payment." But then it is further explained that in order to repay the gopis, Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by reciprocating. and that love back with you. So that is the highest. Even we saw the example the other day of Krishna became sick and he said, I want the dust of my devotees. They ask all the devotees, nobody is willing to give the dust. And Gopi says, we don't care. Now, according to Dharma, you don't put dust from your feet on the lotus on the head of the Supreme Personality of God. According to Dharma, obviously, it is said that anybody who faces his legs towards the Supreme Lord, who just faces, who sits in a temple, his legs becomes amputated in this life or next life, who just shows his leg to the face of Krishna, who just sits like that. What to speak about putting our feet on Krishna's head? Question does not arise. But Gopi says we don't care. So this is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is very, very deep. And that's why although we don't speak, nobody speaks on Sarva Dharma Parityaja, what it really means, na dharma, because people are too attached to dharma. But at some point of time, we must understand what it really means, Sarva Dharma Parityaja. Sarva Dharma Parityaja means Krishna and only Krishna. One pointed worship of Krishna. Okay, then this is another example. This is another thing, another point. When we are too attached to dharma, we can put dharma above Krishna also. Yudhishthir Maharaj did that. He was too attached to dharma. What is dharma? I will not lie. I will not lie. He had to see the face of hell because he rejected Krishna's instruction that Ashwatthama is dead. Krishna told him, lie. Yudhishthir Maharaj said, no, I cannot lie. So he said, yeah, Ashwatthama elephant is dead. But elephant, Gaja, the word was not visible. But he hesitated. He said it, but he hesitated. So sometime if we are too attached to dharma, then we can give more priority to dharma over Krishna in the name of dharma. Sometimes devotees sometimes say, well, Prabhu, this is my duty, I have to do it. Well, I understand. I mean, I'm not saying anything, but general principle, sarva dharma parityaja. Whatever is favorable to Krishna, do it. Whatever is unfavorable, reject it. That's what it means. Sarva dharma parityaja. Na dharmam na adharma. Then another danger of following dharma is that one may become attached to the fruits of dharma. And the example is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Narad Muni tell to Vyasadeva, you have brought about the ruin of human society. You have given them all these Vedic scriptures and you have ensured their degradation. He said this because people will follow and become attached to the results, after which they ultimately forget about Krishna consciousness. So that's why Narad Muni chastised Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva wrote so many dharmic principles. But then dharma will give you some material fruits. If you follow dharma nicely, you get something based on what principle you follow. And then if you become attached to fruits, then those fruits may become more important than Krishna. And then we miss the essential point of going back to Guru Vrindavan and worship of Krishna. That's when Narad Muni said, well, people are already too much sense gratification, and you are telling them dharmic principles, which is dharma actually. You're telling them dharmic principles that will give them some results, but that will simply distract them from Krishna content. So that's why Vyasadeva was not satisfied. So the point is sarva dharma or na dharma. Na dharma. Okay. Sachinandan Swami. Now this is another deepness. Now this our first point I would say, never take shiksha from outside ISKCON if you really want to go to Golok Vrindavan, because otherwise you'll be distracted. So take shiksha within ISKCON. Before starting this book ManahShiksha, I was looking for whose translation should I follow. Then I came across one, a pure devotee, disciple of Saraswati Thakur, but not in Srila Prabhupada line, written a very nice commentary on ManahShiksha. I did not take that. But finally, I took the translation on these verses by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, by Sachinandan Maharaj, Shivram Maharaj, and Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj, because I know they all glorify Srila Prabhupada. And then it will be one pointed direction. We are everywhere, we are one pointed. The moment we have multiple points, I don't know. Especially if multiple points other than Radha Krishna worship, then I surely don't know. So this is something by Sachinandan Maharaj. Bhakti Vinod Thakur questions, if one is not following Dharma, how can one maintain himself? Even. This is a question that anybody will follow, because even our earning is also Dharma. We are meant to work and maintain family. This is our duty to, because the duty of a husband is to maintain the family. So our earning is also based on Dharma. And um, Krishna is telling, abandon all varieties of dharma, don't care about anything, just surrender unto me, complete surrender. And Raghunath Das Goswami is here telling, ना धर्म ना धर्म सबको लेके डालो trash में, put everything in a trash. What do I do? Well, one pointed worship of Radha and Krishna. That's all you should do. One pointed worship. So very high bar. So Sachindan Maharaj, Dharma of conditioned soul is to run around and make arrangements for maintenance. This Paddhati is a guidebook for those who have developed faith in Krishna as their complete shelter, including their maintainer. One who has understood that Krishna is my only maintainer, which he is. It answers the question, if I have now fully developed my faith in Krishna, then what is my duty? Grahasthas should work yet fully depend on Krishna for maintenance. Now, this is the example that um, 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 Mataji was mentioning about Shivas, where it is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the Shivas Thakur was a Grahastha. He has kids. Uh, Mahaprabhu told Shivas Thakur, why don't you work? Shivas Thakur said, I don't, I have no time to work. I'm too busy serving Krishna. I have no time to work. Mahaprabhu told Shivas Thakur, then how will you maintain? Then Shivas Thakur clapped 3 times and he said, well, I will try to maintain, but if I will, he clapped 3 times. He said, day one, okay, no food came. Day two, all right, no food came. Day three, all right, no food came. Then fourth day, I will go with my entire family, put a rock around my neck and jump. If Krishna doesn't want me to survive, all right, what's the use of this life? Now, too difficult, too difficult for an ordinary man. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur has instructions how to follow this instruction of na dharma, because we cannot artificially follow this instruction when we are on bodily platform. The result will be destruction. We cannot follow when we have attachments and we are on bodily platform. Until we become self-realized, it will not work. But again, remember, this is ManahShiksha. As I said in the beginning, it's a very advanced book. It is for those, second verse is for those who have developed excessive attachment to Ghostya, and Vraj Radha Krishna, who have developed attachment to Guru, who has developed attachment to Naam and the holy name, who have attained and who have become free from pride. Then this verse comes, and then it begins with Na Dharma. Don't be attached to any form of dharma with one pointed worship, with one pointed intelligence worship Radha and Krishna. Okay, so then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said he was very pleased with Srivas Thakur. He did not criticize Srivas Thakur because that's what he did. He also rejected dharma and became a sannyasi. And he glorified Srivas Thakur. He said, amazing. He said, Srivas, even if the whole earth has no food to eat, the goddess of fortune will bring food from heavenly planet and make sure you have food to eat every day. So that was the glorification by Mahaprabhu to Srivas Thakur. So now dharma. Now there is a Sachindan Maharaj mentioned this story. This is from his commentary on astrologer, and there was a devotee astrologer. He tried to do some astrology for his living. He tried very hard. No money came, and he was very much struggling with his work. And then he prayed to the deity, and he told the deity that whatever earning I get, I will give you 10%. Please help me to work. And then Krishna sent him some customers. His work grew, and it again started to fail. And his wife, this is a true story actually. His wife told the astrologer's wife told him, his Prabhu, that you promised Krishna you will give 10%, but you're not giving him anything. And he said, well, my income is hardly anything. Then she said, well, why don't you have faith in Krishna and Krishna's maintenance? And then he said, all right. So he kept his promise, and then his again business started growing. And Sachindan Maharaj says today he's the richest astrologer uh, in ISKCON. That is Sachindan Maharaj says. So something on faith on Krishna is a maintainer. I know one devotee. I think I shared this before. Um, and he said probably we need at least $1 million. He's working very, very hard. Many times he sacrifices Krishna consciousness also. He's very never doesn't give any donation also. And both husband and wife are working so hard. And then his conception is I need at least $300,000 for my first kid education, $300,000 for my second kid education. Then I need at least $500,000 for both of our old age. So we don't have to wait. So he has so much faith on himself and his maintenance that lacks any faith in Krishna will arrange. Krishna will arrange. So when one lacks that, that brings one deep attachment to there is nobody in this world other than me who has to take care of myself. So that is the lack of this. That's why one becomes attached to dharma because one is on bodily platform, because one lacks faith in Krishna as a maintainer. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that that's all right. That's all right. You can do like that. Gradually advance, gradually make progress. So three stages processed by Thakur Bhaktivinoda. And he says stage one, you can follow dharma perfectly. That is stage one. At the same time, perform 5 angas of devotional service. What are the 5 angas of devotional service? Nam Kirtan or Nam Smaran chanting, Srimad Bhagavatam, recitation, read Srimad Bhagavatam, Sadhu Sangha, associate with devotees, Mathura Vas, live in the holy place, Vrindavan and Mathura. And the fifth is Tulsi Seva. No, what is the fifth one?
DT worship.
Huh?
DT worship.
Deity worship. Yeah, worship the deities. These 5 angas of devotional service are there for sadhaka and sadhya. Well, these things is something that are daily activities of Golok Vrindavan, even if you go there, or daily activity that you're doing now. Okay, really? Yes. Do I worship Krishna in Golok Vrindavan? Yes, but in a very intimate setting. But you serve Krishna. Do I chant the holy names? Yes, you are always chanting. Do I read Srimad Bhagavatam? You are always reciting Krishna's glories. Do I do Mathura Vas? Yeah, you are in Vrindavan. And what else? So I recite Srimad Bhagavatam, not like, but I'm always glorifying Krishna's pastimes. That reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Everywhere, everyone there recite Krishna's pastimes. The parrots are talking about Krishna's pastimes. Cuckoos are talking about Krishna's pastimes. Everywhere you go, they are always talking about Krishna's pastimes, and they become ecstatic just by hearing and discussing about Krishna. That's Golo Vrindavan. So these 5 processes of 5 angas of bhakti is needed for sadhaka and sadhya. That's why Srila Prabhupada said if you're doing these 5, you're already in Golo Vrindavan. Because these are the activities that have descended from Golo Vrindavan. They are not material activities. So stage one, follow dharma, whatever is necessary, based on faith. Perform 5 angas of bhakti. Stage two, reject the angas which are detrimental to our bhakti. Some angas of dharma are detrimental also, some are favorable. Then stage two, reject the angas that are unfavorable to bhakti, whatever they are. No examples because time, place, circumstances, different place, different setting, different family situation, whatever. But whatever you are doing, if it is obstructing in your Krishna consciousness, reject them. That is stage two. Stage three, give up everything, serve full time. That is stage three. Examples: Vaisheshika Prabhu and his wife. They are spiritual masters. Vaisheshika Prabhu is spiritual master. He opened a temple, not necessarily opened a temple, but teaching full time and dedicating his life. Both husband and wife are doing that. Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu and his wife. Kalakanta Prabhu and his wife. And if you go to Mayapur and Vrindavan, 1,000 families or even more from all over the world serving full time. So this is stage three, where you give up all variety of dharma and you dedicate your life whole and soul with one pointed intelligence worshipping Krishna. Some are traveling and preaching, some have become spiritual masters, some reside in Dham. You don't have to, if your conception is, what will I do reside in Dham? Only Seva, I don't want to do it. I want travel and preach. Become a spiritual master then, or whatever. And rest assured, Krishna will maintain you. I have not heard a single family, whether it is Vaisheshika Prabhu or Kalakanta Prabhu or Shankarshan Dasarikari Prabhu or anybody in the world who are into Grahasthashram and who have taken full on to Krishna consciousness without worrying about their own maintenance are dying out of thirst and hunger. Whether I see them full of everything, Krishna maintains, Krishna takes care. Have that faith, Krishna is the maintainer. So, na dharmam can be accepted in stages. But the principle, if it is clear at this point of time, that's all we are looking for. And so many examples. Okay. Rupa Goswami explains whatever is favorable for your Krishna consciousness, accept it, whatever is unfavorable, reject it. And Sarva Dharma Parityaja. How to inculcate this mood of na dharma, worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and follow 5 angas of devotional service. So this is a recommendation. How do I get to the stage 3? Right now I may be in stage 1 or stage 2 or whatever. Some devotees who are very sincere, they're on stage 2. Even if in Grahastha Ashram, according to Dharma, there are some things they don't care. Like, I don't know if I spoke about Adi Gadadhar Prabhu, who gave Srimad Bhagavatam class. Anybody heard Bhagavatam class by Adi Gadadhar Prabhu?
No.
You heard?
No.
So he gave, I think, 2 weeks back. I mean, he's in Grahasthashram, he has 2 kids, both husband and wives are doctor. They have zero income. They give everything in charity. He chants 64 rounds every day. Then he is on a different stage. Probably maybe stage 3, I don't know. But on a different stage. Everyone is on different stage. Some are on stage 1, some are on stage 2, some are on stage 3. But the point is, Kanishta Madhyama Uttama Shraddha Anusari, according to one's faith. How much faith one has developed in Dharma, how much faith one has on one's own capability in performing Dharma. My life is dependent on Dharma, or is my life completely dependent upon Krishna will take it. To the extent one puts faith, ye yathama prapadyante tam tadhaiva bhajamyaham. To the extent you put faith in Krishna, to that extent reciprocation comes. Krishna does not give us more than our faith. Everything is based on Shraddha. Shraddha Anusar. Okay. This is last slide on na dharmam na adharmam. And after that we go very quick. This is the main, like, most complex thing to discuss is na dharmam. I don't have any qualification, so I take support from Sajjandan Maharaj, Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur. to explain their understanding of Madharma. Spiritually ignorant. There are two kind of people: spiritually ignorant and spiritually intelligent. Spiritually ignorant people, Shruti promote piety and discourages sin, else hell. They follow out of fear. So for them to follow dharma is important because if you do wrong things, you go to hellish planet, you suffer. If you do this, you are safe. So spiritually ignorant person, this is from Bhakti Thakur, and he says, well, they should follow dharma. They should follow dharma, and that's why scriptures induce fear. We saw four level of worship. The beginning is worship out of fear because no, if I act into these things, then I may go to hell. Let me do the right thing, let me help so that my life is safe, because their fear is they will become miserable. That is their fear. So they are like, no, I will do all good things so that no bad thing happen to me. So it's still following dharma simply out of fear. That's important. But then, although they are following scriptures, they are called ignorant, spiritually ignorant, because they don't realize I'm Jivira Sarupa Krishna Nitya Das. The goal is to go back to Golok Vrindavan and serve him wholeheartedly and in one of the five relationships. When the goal is not clear, when the goal is on a bodily platform, I want to live here, I want to live here happily. It's Manomaya consciousness. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Gyan, Manomaya, Gyan Maya, Vigyan Maya, Anandamaya, Manomaya. Then, well, follow Dharma and do it. Spiritually intelligent people, they should not do anything motivated by fear. If I don't do this, who will take care of this and this and this and these things? Or what will happen to these things? So fear make us follow dharma. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says those who are spiritually intelligent should not do anything motivated by fear. Everything for the purpose of serving Radha and Krishna. Well, we can do whatever we want to do, that's all right. We can follow principles of dharma. It's not that we have to abandon all dharma. We can do whatever aspect of dharma is favorable to Krishna. If that's why um, Bhakti Rupa Goswami says 64 items of bhakti, and then he says chapter 14 the items which are not of bhakti, and karma comes there. Karma is not in bhakti. No, I mean very bhakti. It's nowhere comes in the 64 items of bhakti. We discussed that in our Nectar devotion. So everything for the purpose of is this favorable to my worship of Radha? Is it unfavorable? Is it? If it is favorable, I'll do it. Unfavorable, I will not do it. Whatever is favorable for one pointed worship of Radha and Krishna, I will do that. Whatever is unfavorable, I am not interested in those things. So that is spiritual intelligent people. Again, stages. Spiritual intelligence also we discussed three stages. Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a recommendation in Grahasthashram do devotion because that will make you think that my home belongs to deities, my work, my finances, my family, all deity is the enjoyer. Deity is the center. Every activity as servant of deity. Once you have deities at your home, they become the prominent people in your home. And that's a very nice way to dovetail dharma in Krishna service. So it is not condemned. It is perfectly alright. It's just a stage. Just a stage. Um, it's um, that's all. Okay. Now, now we come to now. Any question on the dharma? It's a complicated topic. I don't know if I will take many questions, but let us see.
What is that dharma which should be rejected?
So say again.
Mentioned about dharma which should be rejected. What are those examples?
Dharma which should be rejected. Stage two.
Yeah, can you give
Well,
examples?
Prabhuji, if anything you see, well, this is hampering my Krishna consciousness. That's why I said may not be a specific example, but if you see, well, I'm not able to become more Krishna conscious because of this, then that becomes an obstacle in your advancement. And when we reject those, that is stage two. Some may be possible to be rejected, some may not be. And then slowly, we grow from there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, if somebody rejects the principles of anyways. So Mahipad Prabhu, does it answer? You didn't get any clarity?
Yeah, please. So let's say for grihasthas, basically the work is the biggest obstacle. Whether it's
Yes.
chanting or reading. So now, now what should be the goal at least? Need not be
Well,
immediate.
yeah, I understand. Well, let your focus be serving Krishna with everything that you can do, and your focus of work be till your responsibilities are over, especially with your kids. Till that time, do whatever is needful in every situation, good or bad, considering Krishna as the maintenance, with one pointed intelligence, still worshipping Radha and Krishna. And slowly, if Krishna wants you to become a spiritual leader, spiritual master, Krishna will may pave that way for you in future. But if your goal is clear, if your goal is completely doing everything for the purpose of Radha and Krishna, serving Radha and Krishna, you're good. So some things, that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, cannot take any step all of a sudden, but it gradually things will turn out. As long as your desire is very sincere throughout your life. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay. Any other question?
Prabhuji, I have a question, Prabhu. So, I'm just saying an example, Prabhuji, like maybe I don't know which one is correct or not. So, suppose like suppose if there is in need, any neighbors or anyone is in need, and then like if we are helping, like we make a relation, right, Prabhuji, which is not favorable because like when we are frequently like or they are frequently interacting us. So in those situations, like how do we follow?
Yeah, certain relationships not favorable for bhakti, if rejected, will come under stage two. But if the principle is I want to preach to them, great, tolerate, try to preach to them. If they are not favorable, no need. Then, I mean, no need does not mean we reject them. No need means no need to go deeper. Let there be hello, hi, namaste, and let it be the end of that. Did I address?
Yes, Prabhuji, if they are in need of help or something, like do we?
Yes, we can help them out. We can help every living entity because everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. We extend help to devotees, non-devotees, wherever we get an opportunity to render service, we render. If that is not obstructing your own Krishna consciousness.
But if we are helping, like we'll get more relation builded, and then how to
Hmm.
like
If it is not
maintain the
in,
relation, Prabhuji.
yeah, if it is once in a while not impacting your own Krishna consciousness, your own reading, your own hearing, your own chanting, if it is not coming in your way of Krishna consciousness, if it makes them favorable to you and eventually favorable to Krishna, that's the intention, that's all right. If they are envious people, who hate Krishna or have, if they're envious by nature, then Narad Muni says we avoid envious people because they the blasphemers. There are such kind of people also. So based on If it is favorable for your Krishna consciousness, you accept. Helping can be favorable, can be unfavorable, based on Paramatma will tell you from within. Well, this is not helping. Like one person was helping somebody every time they meet, he would put such questions, some impersonal conception, and this person faith was dwindling because he didn't have philosophical understanding. So his faith was dwindling, and then he was given the suggestion, well, avoid helping because it's not favorable for your own Krishna consciousness. In the name of helping, you are thinking, well, am I doing the right thing by chanting Hare Krishna? So it's really situation based. Uh, does this help to make a decision?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anyone has any other question?
Yes, Guru. The same question in line with the Mataji asked, right? I think that really, I mean, partially it answers my question. Again, as long as if there is no hindrance or there is no obstacles in our sadhana by doing any the selfless service to the society or any other things, that should be okay, right?
तो एक बार फिर से बोलो.
तो जी हमने और डिस्कस किए थे कि if dharma comes in our spiritual path, so still we need to neglect that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what I was asking is, in case by rendering, I mean, by doing our sadhana, still we perform the dharma and other things. Is that okay?
That's okay if the people are not envious. And if your goal is, I want to develop relationship, help them so that they can become favorable to Krishna. If with that intention you do, then you're helping your friend become worship to Radha and Krishna. Because your goal is to connect them to Radha and Krishna. Does it help?
Oh, okay.
Prabhuji, in case if we know like they are not interested to connect to Krishna and still we can uh, move forward on helping and then just like we are not supposed to avoid helping and whatever they need we just help and then
Depends upon
ignore
what
the
kind
rest
of
of the
help.
stuff. Yes.
I mean, depends upon what kind of help really. If they say, well, we need help in ground, you can always keep hearing a lecture, help them in the ground. They need something, they want to borrow something, yeah, why not? So it's really vast. The basic principle Rupa Goswami says is if at any point of time you feel it is impacting your own Krishna consciousness, don't accept it, whatever it is. You can reject anything which Dharma says good or bad if it is unfavorable for your Krishna consciousness. Just like gopis rejected their so-called important things, they are also helping their children, helping their husband, helping their old, helping the cows and calves. They are helping, they are serving, but they rejected everyone for Krishna because they were coming on their way to express their devotion to Krishna. So the principle is all dharma goes in the background if it is proving to be unfavorable for your own Krishna consciousness. Your Krishna consciousness comes first. Now, preaching will help you become more Krishna conscious. Speaking Krishna Katha, helping others grow in devotion. This is all one pointed worship to Radha and Krishna. But if there is something which unfavorable, which Paramatma will tell you, well, this is not helping. This is not helping. Now, if you know they are completely uninterested in Krishna consciousness, and if it is something small, okay. If there is no need to maintain a deeper relationship. But help is okay if that help is not unfavorable. That's what I can say. Rest, if you ask me very specific at some point of time, I can answer. Alright?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Because I know there is something which I'm trying to. Okay. Any other question? Na dharma. Alright. Now the point is this is one most important thing, rejecting everything unfavorable and with one-pointed intelligence, worship Radha and Krishna. Na Dharmam is a very advanced stage where one is totally dependent upon Krishna, but how to gradually come to that stage, and we saw following five angas of bhakti, recommendation of Bhakti Thakur, and by worship of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's where to practice na dharmam, and to practice one-pointed worship of Radha and Krishna, Raghunath Das Goswami recommends to worship Lord Chaitanya as son of Nanda. This meditation and this worship will help you. This worship and the worship of Guru as dearest servant of Mukunda. Service to Guru and that consciousness and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nordam Radha and Krishna. This is the way to go to one-pointed intelligence of Radha and Krishna. In fact, I was hearing a talk by Pankaj Angri Prabhu, he's brother of Dinani Prabhu. They both are um, pure devotees. Um, Dhamvasi, Siddha Mayapur, those who don't know them. I was hearing a lecture by Pankaj Angri Prabhu and he said, if one wants to worship Radha and Krishna without worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami described it is demoniac. It is demoniac to try to worship Radha and Krishna without Lord Chaitanya. In fact, one's fruit of worship of Radha and Krishna will never be accomplished without Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radharani. And if we reject Srimati Radharani, we can never we can never receive the message Srimati Radharani, because that's what who Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. Now, having established that Sri Krishna, Sri Nanda Nandana is not different from Lord Chaitanya, Sri Shachi Nandana, one is able to remember Sri Chaitanya even while worshipping Sri Krishna. So there are two aspects to it. One, it's still one-pointed. Worship of Lord Chaitanya and worship of Radha Krishna is one-pointed. Another, to attain the stage of one-pointed and not dharma, only Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the way. If Vasudev Ghosh explains, if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not have descended on this planet, who would have known that the goal of life is prema bhakti? Who would have heard about love of God? Who would have known the divinity of the Holy Ghost? Who would have known? Who would have known the glories of Srimati Radharani? Who would have known? Who would have known? Who would have received the access of sweetness of Vrindavan? Who would have accessed that? Who would have known these different kind of relationships? Who would have accessed direct relationship with Krishna? Who? It is only by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that these treasures are known to us and we can relish them. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is utmost primary importance to all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. In fact, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. In fact, you may have heard the story of, I discussed this story before, but I will repeat if you don't remember. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami personal story. He held a 24-hour kirtan. He invited Maniketan Ramdas. After the kirtan, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami brother Maniketan Ramdas is a personal associate of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu at this point of time has left the planet. Maniketan Ramdas is in deep separation in the camp of Nityananda Prabhu. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami brother offended Maniketan Ramdas by saying, I don't believe in Nityananda Prabhu. Maniketan Ramdas tried to explain to him. His brother went into an argumentative mood. Maniketan Ramdas became very angry, broke his flute and left. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami heavily chastised his own brother to support Nityananda Prabhu and Maniketan Ramdas. This is very important because according to Dharma, one may have so much attachment and protection of one younger brother and other things, but if that comes on contrary to Krishna, that should also be rejected. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami heavily chastised his younger brother. He chanted all night and cried, but while he fell asleep, Nityananda Prabhu came in his dream and he said, I am very pleased with you for your devotion to Nityananda Prabhu. Move in this direction, associate with Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavan, and all your life success will be achieved. All your life desires will be fulfilled. And Nityananda Prabhu left. He received the mercy. Why? Not dharma. Rejected everything and his faith in Nityananda Prabhu. Most of our acharyas first received the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Even Narottam Das Thakur Nityananda Prabhu came in his room and he said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, go to Bangladesh right now. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left love of Godhead for you in river Padma. Go and bathe in river Padma and you will attain all success. The moment he bathed here, Narottam Das Thakur was a dark complexion. He became goldish. He got prema that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is left for him. And then he went to Vrindavan. So this is the glories of of accepting the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nobody has ever accessed Radha and Krishna without going through the medium of Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if at all you want to install deities, it should be Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. And then you can bring Radha Krishna eventually if you desire. But we cannot directly worship. It is said that you are very dedicated in your worship to Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, you don't have to worry about Radha Krishna also. They will direct you naturally to Radha Krishna if they are pleased with you. Everything happens by the mercy of Sri Gaurahari. Sri Gaurahari. I request every one of you, if you don't have, please have a picture of Gaur Nitai in your home. So you can offer worship, you can offer Arati, you can offer Bhoga, you can hear about Gaur Katha, and whatever it takes, try to develop a relationship. If there is no God Nitai in your altar, then there is a high chance you have not developed a relationship with them yet. Because if you're not seeing them, if you're not worshipping them, if you're not hearing about them, where is the scope to develop a relationship? And if you don't have a relationship with them, where is the scope to perform Nadharmam and one pointed worship of Radha and Krishna? So that's point one. Second thing we have to do is meditate on Shri Guru as dearest devotion. Okay, someone can read. I think we are on second last slide. We are almost coming to an end now.
The vers-
Meditate. Oh, okay. Okay, Babaji.
Meditate on Sri Guru as dearest to Krishna. The worshipper should think Sri Krishna, who is like an ocean of mercy, has sent his intimate associates in order to take me home back to Godhead. It is also most appropriate to respect and regard Sri Gurudeva as an intimate friend, Priya Saki of Srimati Radharani.
Now, second one is complex, but this is a commentary of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The first one is easy. Sri Krishna, who is like an ocean of mercy, has sent his associate in order to take me back home back to God. So Krishna has sent this personality to bring me back to him. So he is a dearest servant of Krishna, dear most servant of Krishna. Every disciple should think about their master, their spiritual master, as a dear most servant of Krishna. That's the way to think. Yet every Vaishnava is a every Vaishnava is a pure devotee, and but for me, relationship with my spiritual master is most important. That's why Guru comes in a separate category compared to Vaishnavas, although Vaishnavas may be pure devotees. May be pure devotees. Now, second point, it is also most appropriate to respect and regard Sri Gurudev as an intimate friend of Srimati Radharani. Now, it is mentioned, this may be little confusing, but I'll try to clarify. Srimati Radharani is the original Guru. We may have heard Balram is original Guru, and they both are original Guru, that is correct. I will explain how. But the real Guru is Srimati Radharani. Why? Because she, now let me explain with this example. Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari, who is serving Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is serving Krishna. Rupa Manjari learns from Srimati Radharani how to worship Krishna. So all the lines in our acharyas, all the acharyas and Goswamis, they have learned how to worship Krishna through the example of Srimati Radharani because she is most perfect in serving Krishna. So they have received how to worship Krishna through her. So anybody who sees Guru as belonging to spiritual world and he देखो, does not depend upon relationship, but Shrimati Radharani is Karuna Kurume Karuna Bharite, ocean of mercy. And we discussed about in the seminar Shrimati Radharani, whatever devotion we have is actually her devotion for Krishna. She is non-different from Krishna. Krishna and Radharani are non-different. So one who can think her as the original spiritual master, not from the perspective of Tattva, from perspective of Tattva Balramji, but from the perspective of how they learn how to worship Krishna. Guru Tattva is Balramji, but how did they, who taught them how to worship Krishna? Is the example of Srimati Radharani. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur represents one Srimati. It's most appropriate. It's appropriate in the way you think anyway, but it's most appropriate if you respect Sri Gurudev as not necessarily that we see our Gurudev in Madhurya Ras. That's not necessary. That's again a speculation. But as a friend who has learned how to worship Krishna from Srimati Radharani. So that kind of relationship. Okay, any question here? Alright, so we are doing it. Thank you. Now, this is, I think, the last slide. I hope, I think, yeah. After this video, thank you. So, this is the last slide, which is mentioned by Sachidanand Swami quotes Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who recommends 6 things to do our bhajan or worship Radha Krishna. This is a prayer by Prahlad Maharaj, mentioned Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam says in 7th canto, 9th chapter, verse number 50, how to become a Paramhamsa. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur takes from Srimad Bhagavatam and make it a separate topic and write some essays on it. And Sachidanand Swami quote Saraswati Thakur mentioning on importance of these 6 things. Now, can someone open Srimad Bhagavatam 9:7-9:50? Who is opening? Very quickly. Who is opening?
The opening.
Okay. Opened?
Yeah.
Read the translation only. It's a prayer of Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Nrsimha.
Therefore, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all persons to whom prayers are offered, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, because without rendering 6 kinds of devotional service unto you, offering prayers, dedicating all the results of activities, worshipping you, working on your behalf, always remembering your lotus feet, and hearing about your glories. Who can achieve that which is meant for the Paramahamsa?
All right. So one can attain the stage of Paramahamsa by these things. Saraswati Thakur has a long explanation on this and emphasizing. And this particular six I have personally taken from Sajindan Maharaj commentary on the second verse, mentioning how to develop one-pointed worship to Radha and Krishna. One thing we saw is an ek smaranam, meditating on Sri Guru as dearmost servant of Krishna, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nanda Baba, Nanda Baba's son. And these two worship and smaranam will take us to Nadharmam. Five angas of bhakti we discussed will take us to Nadharmam, and one pointed introduction Radha and Krishna. And these six things specifically comes as prayers by Prahlad Maharaj. Pay obeisances. Whenever there is a chance, pay obeisance. Sachindran Maharaj said one time he wanted to do parikrama of Radha Kund, but he was very honest, and this is many many years back. So he was thinking, nobody should watch me when I'm paying obeisances to Radha Kund, because then people may glorify me, and I don't want that. So, like for a person like a sannyasi, spiritual master, with thousands of disciples, when they do something like this, then we don't know what people, what waves it will create, what, insignificant people do, nobody cares. But when people like Sachindan Maharaj does, everybody watches, take videos, goes viral, and I don't know, he was like, I don't know what all will happen. So he decided he will do in the midnight, because he said the dust of Raja should touch our entire body. So he started doing Radhakund Parikrama. Now, if you do Radhakund Parikrama, once you start going in this direction, there you have to go out, go on the road, come back, and then come inside. There is no direct. So he went out, and then he was going, and then a pig came, a pig, a, a troop of pigs, lot of pigs, and they stood on his way. So he told the pig, "Ut, ut, 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 ut," and pig is not moving. Then Sajendra Maharaj thought, well, from my childhood, I am a black belt karate. So let me try to push him away. So he took the pig, he held the pig and he pushed him away, one pig. And the pig didn't move at all. And the pig smiled at Maharaj. Then Maharaj said, I was thinking, this pig may bite me because he's a very big pig and he looks very powerful. And I put all force, he didn't move at all. So, and then he is becoming little angry on me also. So, and he's not alone, he has the whole troop of pigs with him. So, and Maharaj want to continue his Govardhan Parikrama. We just stood there for a long time. Then Maharaj said, well, this is a test sent to me by Srimati Radharani. This is her kund. So he stood up, he he bowed down to the pig and started offering prayers. My dear servant of Srimati Radharani, please allow me to serve her through this Sashtang Dandavat Parikrama. I take a humble position. You are a resident of Braja. You, this is your residency. I am only a traveler. I've only come to receive some mercy. And as Maharaj took a very humble position and he stood up, the pig looked at him and the pig moved out and gave way and went to the other side in one corner. And because he was the head pig, when he moved out, all the other pigs moved out and they gave the way to Maharaj to continue with Radha Kund Parikrama. And he was mentioning that it was a very, very purifying experience when I could actually see that every Brajvasi is actually a servant of Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani has personally sent his representative to teach me. And later on, Maharaj did the entire Govardhan Parikrama Dandavats, Sachindan Maharaj. It took him around more than a month to do Dandavad Parikrama all around Govardhan. So it's very, very inspiring. So one thing, and he said, well, if we cannot pay obeisances, if in Vraja we should pay as much obeisances as we can to the dust of Vrindavan Dham, but when we are outside and then do whatever you can. But importance is pay obeisances. That's one aspect um, of serving one pointed service to Radha and Krishna. Then offering prayers, offering prayers, and we discuss in act of devotion, feelingly offering prayers with utter humility, or offering prayers for some perfection, lalasmai, lalasmai. They are the highest among all the prayers, but we are offering prayers. Um, Recently, I I received a news from ISKCON News Communication, and they mentioned that Shivram Maharaj has released a book for free by the name My Daily Prayers. And I was reading that book, and it's like lots, it is like I think 30, 40 pages of prayers that Shivram Maharaj offers every single day. It includes prayers to Govardhan, prayers to Vrindavan, prayers to the residents of Vrindavan, prayers to Krishna, prayers to Srimati Radharani, prayers to Sri Rama and Sudama, and prayers to spiritual master, prayers to acharyas, and lot of prayers. He offers every single day. So I know some devotees, they offer prayers every single day. In fact, one of the 64 items of devotional service offering notable prayers. Every day offer prayers that bring us in the right consciousness. So it's very important. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of prayers. We cannot copy somebody's prayers, but whatever inspires us, we can make that as uh, Manasa Puja or mental worship while driving, while other things. Initially, we can read it for a long time, something really inspires us, and that will that thing will grow our devotion if we can offer notable prayers. We already have some incorporated, like prayers to Srila Prabhupada, we offer unavoidably. While offering, we offer prayer to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna. Namo Mahavadanyaya and Namo Brahmane Devaya. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya, prayers to Srila Prabhupada and spiritual masters. Some are already incorporated in our life, offering notable prayers. But if you like, you can further expand on offering seva, which is very, very important. Whether it is brooming or cleaning or whatever seva, no seva is higher or lower. It's only our own material consciousness that we distinguish between seva. But the idea is seva, and that's what Raghunath Das Goswami says. Profusely expand your service to Radha and Krishna with one pointedness. Profusely expand. So one should be very eager to offer seva, then offer fruits of your service. Whatever results we get from our dharma, from our fruits, we should offer it to Krishna. Then meditate on lotus feet of Krishna. This is very important. Krishna's lotus feet is very sweet, and likewise the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very sweet. Naturally, as our chanting progresses, initially we meditate on the name, then we meditate on the root, then we meditate on the gunas or qualities. But to meditate on qualities of the Lord, we need to hear about Lord qualities. Nectar of Devotion, future chapters describe 64 qualities of Krishna in detail. So we can hear about them. There is also a seminar by Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj on 64 qualities of Krishna. We can hear those if you like. So, and then Leelas. Once we perfect chanting and meditating on quality, it's not artificial. It has to come by itself. Initially, the mind is distracted. Second stage, the mind stays with the name. Third stage, mind stays with the roop or the form of the Lord. Fourth stage, the mind stays with the qualities. Fifth stage, the pastime start manifesting of the Lord. So it grows in progression. So that is meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord. And then sufficiently hear topics of Krishna. This is extremely important. We must profusely hear. If we are trying to avoid hearing, we are postponing our goal to Golokata. We are postponing. Yes, everything is purified, but profusely hear topics of Krishna. When you hear about Krishna, you develop attraction for Krishna. Even if you have no attraction to hear about Krishna, we must hear about Krishna as a part of Vaidhi. Doesn't matter if we have attraction or not. We must hear about Krishna. And then by that hearing, attraction will grow. Srimad Bhagavatam explains Narad Muni telling that because I heard from Bhakti Vedantas, I was hearing again and again, my attraction for hearing grew further. So one must hear about Krishna. So these six things will help one to attain the stage of Paramahamsa. Okay, so I'm very grateful to all of you. We have 5 minutes and see if there is any discussion.
Prabhuji, I have a question, Prabhuji. Like
How
Ajamila, like he chanted name of Narayana, but like his intention is calling his son, right, Prabhuji? And he saw the Vishnu Dutas, but when we are not performing real sadhana, I mean like bhakti, like sinful activities and then pious activities won't uh, cancel each other. But how come like Ajamila saw Vishnu Dutas like when he chanted the name of Narayana?
well, he called out his son
Yes,
out
yes,
of fear.
Prabhuji. It's son only, but when we are not doing our not real bhakti, like our pious activities and then sinful activities won't
Cancel.
cancel each other. So how come like
His
that
chanting of
case? Like I don't
Narayana
know
is
how to understand.
his chanting of Narayana is not pious activity, it is bhakti.
But
So
he's not calling the intention of love for Narayana, but he's just chanting the name of
even that doesn't matter.
Krishna. But okay,
The name is still powerful. Vishnudutas, um, Yamdutas told this to Vishnudutas. How can we not punish him? He did not even call out Narayan. And Vishnudutas said, well, if somebody takes a medicine, even if he does not understand the power of the medicine, medicine still works. Likewise, even though he did not call out, he chanted the name of Narayan nonetheless. Because of that, it acted upon him.
okay, Prabhuji, like in olden days, like most of the 99% people they do used to put like God names only to
Yes.
kids. By that time, like they are calling every day like name of the God.
Yes.
So that one also
Will free
like
them from their sinful reactions. Yes. It will not take them back to Godhead. Ajamil although chanted at the last moment of his birth and remembered only Narayana, that's all was alone was in his consciousness. He could not go back to Godhead. He just became free from sinful activities, because of which he could give up his so-called attachments to the prostitute. And he went to Haridwar for 13 years. He performed conscious devotional service by chanting name of Narayan for 13 years. And then he could go to Vaikuntha. So if they are calling, they will. It is nullifying their sinful activities. Certainly, it is. So they may be doing lot of sinful activities, but they may not get the reaction, and they don't know why. But that's because of the power of the holy name.
oh, even though if we are not performing as part of bhakti, if we are calling the names of the God, like
It counters sinful activities.
sinful activities.
Yes, and there is a story in Harinam Chintamani. A Muslim called the name Haram to the pig because the pig was killing him, and he got liberated. Okay, they cannot get love of God because it's a liberation. What kind of liberation? Liberation from sinful activities. In fact, Shrimad Bhagavatam describes it was a Namabha stage. He was not chanting out of he was not committing any 10 offenses. So Nam Abhas can counteract sinful reactions, but cannot give prema. Only Shuddha Nam can give prema. Shuddha Nam comes only by mercy of Guru. But sinful activities goes away, Mataji, certainly. That's why even though we are chanting, even though we may not have taste, we are still liberated. But to attain prema, that comes when we develop taste comes when we attain prema. Because the Lord, like when Krishna personally reciprocates, feeling comes, that's devotion. That's different. That's conscious devotional service. That can give to prema and taste. But unconsciously chanting will also free us from sinful reaction. Like I may have done some stealing, some gambling, I may have beaten somebody, I may not have to go to hell for suffering because it was nullified because I was always chanting the names of Narayan. Or it doesn't answer.
Yes, Prabhuji. I have extension that even though suppose if I am chanting the name of Krishna every day, say example like Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but I don't know the process. Say example like if we tell someone to chant every day if they are chanting, but the real process or real instructions if they don't know, still like is that helpful growing on their sadhana in their next life?
Greatly helpful. Even if they don't have faith, even if they are ocean of bad qualities, if they take up this one chanting, gradually everything will start falling in place. They will start rendering service, they will start Vaishnava Sangha, they will if they take up this one thing of chanting and then they do it continuously because of unlimited sinful activities and enviousness nature and etc., they may not receive the mercy right away apparently because of their own misuse of their free will and attachments and conditioning and etc. Although they may become free from sinful activities, sinful tendencies remains and conditioning is there, free will is there, tendency to enjoy is there, and that takes a long time. But slowly everything will start falling into place. Just like Ajamil, every he entered into pure devotional service by unconsciously chanting. That gave him entrance. Likewise, if you can just convince somebody to please chant, their good fortune will open. Even if they don't know what they are doing, why they are doing. In fact, in the beginning, we are not supposed to tell them also. We just tell them just chant. That's the process. That way you go back to Godhead. So very simple. But we don't tell what is the glories of the holy name, what is Krishna Prema, what is Golokindam. We don't tell any of those things. Eventually they will come to know. Does it answer?
Um, Yes, Prabhuji, suppose if we are telling any relative or someone, like if they started chanting, but I thought if they don't know the process and then they are just chanting, that will help, but I thought there will be no growth in their next life or something. So I thought
No, they will grow Mataji certainly. Especially they're not even chanting the name of sun, they are chanting name of Krishna, knowing this is name of Krishna I'm chanting. Greatly benefit. Jayapataka Maharaj says a person who chants one round every day is a lakpati because he chants 1 lakh names of Krishna in a year. If he chants just one round every day.
yes, Prabhuji, like because they have some faith on God, but they don't know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. And we just say like chant and then they chant, so that's why I thought.
Chanting will bring them to that realization. Once they experience Krishna's name, they become favorable. Then you tell Krishna is God, they want to listen that. That's the mercy of the holy name. Once anyone who is chanting, after some time you tell them, just chant Krishna's name, they said, oh, thank you for telling me that. That's what I want to do. That's the glory of the faith that the holy name brings. All right.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Anyone has any other question?
What is about the Webex versus Zoom?
Yeah, actually, we Webex, I heard Mahima Prabhu mention they are stopping free service and they are charging. I told him to move to Zoom. We are already paying for Zoom because other than this program and I think one Friday evening program, all other programs are happening on Zoom. Why to pay on two platforms? Why request to learn that? All right.
Okay.
Are we good now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
I'm,
Prabhu.
I'm very grateful to all of you. Please accept my pranams. Vanchakalpataruneshya kripa sindhu Devi Patitanam Pavanam Vaishnavi Ananta Koti Vaishnavi Shri.
Thank
Thank you. Dandrat Hare Krishna.
Good.
thank you, Prabhu. Stand up.